I wonder what the clay pigeons are worth, for resale. They're mostly intact. So far I only found one broken one. Can't see it in the light. Midwest Target Company. Litchfield, Illinois. What, 20 bucks? I'll have to go look up. Just sold the dog cage, $20. Those things move pretty good. Not as good as wheelbarrows, but pretty good actually. This wheelbarrow needs this one needs a little TLC. It just needs a handle. A handle and a bike tire, maybe. A bike tire inner tube. That's an easy 30 or 40 bucks. Let the dream continue. You. Okay, I started Googling around, and 17-inch green scrubber pads, Unitex, for a box of 5. It's coming up around $30-ish, 35, somewhere around there. And these clay pigeons are coming up 65 bucks for an unopened box. This is an open box, so maybe 20 bucks, 15, 20. Some people are saying they're like $30 a piece, but they're not. It's like $8.99 or something like that. What, 25 bucks is 25 bucks. I think that's what I'll let it go for, 20 or 25. That and the clay pigeons, 15 bucks. So that's $35 total. Guesstimate. That's the fun thing of the comment section. Yeah, good old Bert there, God love him. God love you, Bert. Commenting something about the Scotch-Brite pads landing on the driveway or whatever that was. Oh, the Victorian home, it's going to get ruined. The floor. The guy buying them is going. Don't any professional that buy something, and if it's kind of hinky like that, I don't think they're going to buy it and use it. For all these alleged Victorian homes that really don't exist in this particular area within 10 miles of my location, which is your typical buyer of said product. And yeah, I know the history of Louis Joliet discovered the area like in the 1700s, and gotcha. But the fact of the matter is, this area wasn't settled until the 1830s. They had Indian wars and stuff back then in this area. So there's a lot of fortifications here. And I don't think they were building anything Victorian then. Let's see. See, that's the sound of a Jersey accent right there, or New York. Yo, what's going on? What you want to talk about? Yeah. There's some copper right here. Yeah, so Yeah, no Victorian homes will be harmed in any said transaction. I researched those scrubber pads, polishing pads, or whatever they are. $32 for a box of 5 of them. That's the figure I'm coming up with. So I listed them for, I think, $25. I've got 8 of them. I got 5 in a box, so no nibblers yet. Might have to reduce the price, I guess, on something like that. This is a coupon clipping town. There's a lot of, people looking for deals. So you could say something that is worth X. That doesn't mean you're going to get X for it. I don't really need a cart to haul that. We're just being over dramatic here. Tidbits of scrap. So yeah, I mean, who's the winner of that argument? I don't know. Victorian era homes. There's very few of them. I mean, if you can go into Chicago and you'll find, or Indiana, yeah. Just about every small town in Indiana has got something that stretches way back into the 1800s, which I can hear all of UK laughing at live. Oh, that's really old, huh? Well, for here it is. That's pretty old. That's pretty old. Structures don't usually make it. They end up getting torn down, or the property gets resold over and over, and eventually a development wants to move in the area, and my daughter owns a Victorian era home. Her home was built at the end of the Victorian era. She lives in Morris, Illinois. Very nice house. Yes, hardwood floors. They're kind of, but Morris is not 10 miles away. And her town really doesn't have a lot. It's one of the few Victorian homes in that area. Most of the housing stock in Morris, Illinois is kind of like Joliet. From the 1940s to present day. So that's the thing about the comments, you know what I mean? People, trying to disprove everything that I say and claim. I guess I come off as being an idiot. Well, I live in this area. I know the housing stock. Kind of, just by observing. I don't know if I'm going to keep that. I'll scrap that now. My daughter lives in the end of the Victorian era home. And once again, it's one of the few Victorian era homes left standing. These are copper. A lot of them have been destroyed by tornadoes and burned down by fires and torn down for redevelopment. Her house is not of landmark status. So there's that. I could probably sell these. The Bears. What's the record? 3-8 now. You know the way when they have troubles, that team, that franchise, you know the way they go about fixing the problem? We need a new head coach. We need to fire some players. No. Wrong. You need to get rid of the ownership. The people that own it suck. They suck for the consumer. They don't suck for themselves. They're smart. I mean, it's probably one of the most profitable teams in the NFL. You know, through selling merchandise and team logos and licensing products, and then selling the product itself, football. So, as far as business-wise, they're very smart. But as far as like doing the fans any kind of justice, they're horrible. They could care less. Let's see, another commenter said, next video, hay rake and something else on the floor at the compound. And I'm like, are you spying on me? How did you know that's where they were? LOL. Ha 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 ha. Anybody want a tire? Want to see my aunt's garage? All the hoarding. Oh my God! Just the sheer level of hoarding. The sheer level of hoarding was just like, I just want to see if this thing works. Do you think it works? Because I want to install them in my house. And if this one works in my hand, then they probably all work. Oh, look at that. They don't use that much energy, their LEDs. Alrighty. Good to know. The thing about LED lights, they save a lot of money on energy. This is a compact fluorescent. They really don't even hardly produce any heat whatsoever. Anywho, this is what's going on here at the compound. Next video. Next video. Hay rake and I don't know what he said. Hay rake and buffer pads or something. I don't know. At the compound. Both are actually up for sale. I know a lot of people, even my wife, looked at on eBay. Oh jeez. I think I've gone through selling stuff on eBay like 5,000 billion times. I think you need a bank account, and then when you have a bank account, then there's a $600 rule, and then when you make more than $600, they gotta file all these tax forms and stuff like that. When you do that, then your profitability drops, and now you gotta put the green shades on, you know, to analyze. Well, yeah, I'm not that kind of a business. I honestly am not. I'm not willing to. Hey, that's the hay rake, by the way. It's not on the floor at the compound. It's safely stashed away there. I got it listed for $25. No takers. 25 bucks. Wow, what happened to this? Did like a bear claw at this thing? That's a healthy chunk of brass right here. They usually give you a lot of trouble trying to remove, because those Allen heads are usually torqued down pretty good. Removing them is always a challenge, because if you buy a cheap, like a Harbor Freight type of tool, that tool strips out. When you buy a high quality tool, the high quality tool, I have found, strips out the hex nut. I've been doing these for years and stuff, like watched videos. I don't know what tools they're using. You know, they're moving around so fast. They tell you what they're using a lot of times, but like, shut up, jive turkey. Well, these are not the kind of clamps that I want. Well, this one might be. Yeah, so there's like a paradox there. Like, the cheap one, the tool breaks. The expensive tool breaks the bolt. So you're usually going to have a challenge removing the said item. So what usually happens, because that's made out of aluminum, the part that it attaches to is you just use the Ian Matthews method, and you just smack it with a nice size hammer. And I found this Nissan wheel. Other than the rim, it's in decent shape. Good enough for domestic consumption here. It's not dry rotted or anything. Oh, okay. Wow, what's all that noise? So yeah, the minivan is still broke, so currently using this wagon, and it really is a wagon. Currently using this wagon for locomotion. It's pretty cheap on gas. You know, I've been thinking, I came with this this trailer hitch right here. I'm getting ideas. I could tow around a wagon with the wagon. I could double wagon it. Wagon on wagon. Because this thing gets 8 to 12 miles to the gallon, depending on. King, maybe it needs a tune-up in the... no, it's always gotten rotten gas mileage. But it's good for, going, hauling that, the heavy stuff, going to the scrapyard, and then returning home. But going around with a scrap truck, with the prices, so low for scrap, it's a challenge to be profitable. Because back when there were so many factories in Chicago, this is like some kind of like a hand crank jack. And now there's really almost nothing in Chicago as far as manufacturing. There's a Ford Motor Company plant. That's about the biggest factory there is. And I think they make some candies and stuff like that. But aside from that, there really isn't a whole lot of manufacturing. That's part of the reason why the crime is so high. No jobs, or no decent jobs. We're getting there. Emptying the place out. You will own nothing and be happy. Right? A little lonely piece of copper laying right there. They'll get stepped on and sink into the earth somewhere, and someday somebody will come along in the future and find like thousands of dollars worth of brass and copper and stuff in the ground. Got that emptied out pretty much. Just the wood left and some tires. A couple of scrap tires. I gotta dig through that. Dig through this. There's little bits and bobs in here. A little brass, a little copper. That's about as far as that's concerned. You shall own nothing and be happy. See, look at that. Have you ever seen this place that emptied out? Well, we're not done yet. We're done when we have sold every last ounce of scrap. Then maybe we're done.